Hello everyone, it is your human Thork, and welcome back to our Minecraft 1.19 survival let's play. For potentially the last episode? That feels really weird to say, but you know, I have gotten done so much of the stuff that I wanted to get done in this world already. We just have this left, and that's basically it. At this point, all of our projects are done, 1.20 is in full swing as I'm recording this, and I want to swing with it, alright? I want to get involved in 1.20, I want to dive in, and I know a lot of you guys do too. We just have a couple things that we want to do in this episode as kind of like a wrap-up. There still is probably going to be a world tour type thing that I do, because, you know, those are always fun. But after this video and that wrap-up video, this world may be complete. And that feels really weird to say, but really good at the same time. We still have to finish the other half of this tree, we have to finish the doorway, we still have to finish this lakeside pathway type idea, lots of tree stuff, but it needs to get done. So I think we should not keep this tree waiting and just jump right in and get started. There is so much to do. Oh? That's a bit more than last time, right? Yeah, I want to say that's a lot more crystals than last time, a lot more amethyst. What is going on in here? I guess our theories are correct that this tree is growing amethyst. I don't know what to do with this. It's the last episode. There's not much I could turn this into. I mean, this probably scraps the plans of making this like an interior house build. That's kind of crazy. It's looking really good though. I have to say the artistry of this tree is fascinating. But let's keep on moving forward because we are quite pressed for time, I must say. Or I should say I am quite pressed for time because I want to get this video out, a wrap-up video, and start 1.20 and do all the fun things. But I have to finish this tree to start it, and it's a lot of work. In between episodes, I stocked up on a ton of leaves and a ton of dark oak logs. I don't know if that's going to be enough or if that's going to be too much, but we're going to figure that out. And because this tree has inspired me with its amethyst growing, I want to collect some more amethyst to help it out a little bit and to collect some pathway materials. I don't know what we're going to use this for, but I thought it could look pretty. And I restocked on a ton of concrete colors. And I could always make more if we need to, but I think this should be plenty. We have the plan, we have the materials for the plan. I think we should just get started and dive right in with another time lapse and get this thing done. I don't know how long this episode is going to be. It may be very short, honestly. I think I will leave the time lapses a little bit longer and save the rambling and commentary for that kind of stuff. I really enjoyed making those, and you guys seem to not mind it either, so that's fun. Yeah, the sun is going down. I think we should sleep and get started. These are the last major builds that we're going to do in this world, and it's stressful. It's stressful. Anyways, let's just sleep and just get started. No, sleep. I want sleep. Alright, look at that. I think we should get started. First and foremost, yes, I do apologize for the time gap in between episodes. It's been about a month since I've recorded episode 14 and put it out. I do apologize for that, especially on a big final episode. I was hoping to get it out a little bit sooner, but you guys seem to be cool with me taking as much time as I need in between episodes, which I am super grateful that you guys are chill like that. Thank you so much. But yeah, the main reason why I have taken so long in between episodes isn't because I forgot about the series, isn't because I forgot about the channel. Quite the opposite, actually. The delay is actually because of the intimidation factor of my own silly brain. See, this is the first series I ever have done, and the first series that I have ever done on this channel, so I wanted to make it good. And I didn't want to just make a throwaway video that would kind of work and it would be timely but not impactful. So I really wanted to pour my time into making this good and caring about every single block that I'm placing and the reasoning behind it and all that kind of stuff, and make the best possible video and series finale, because it is a special moment on the channel. Speaking about special moments on the channel, this channel is officially 1 year old, which, yay, celebration, confetti sound effects. If I had a soundboard, I would play it. But yeah, no, I've officially had this channel for about a year, and we have done a lot more than I thought we would. I mean, we have only made like 15 episodes of this, 20 videos total on the channel, but really what we've been able to accomplish has been just stunning. I am blown away, and I'll leave the rambling and all that kind of stuff for like a episode recap or series recap, I guess I should say. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that I am super, super thankful for how this series turned out, that you guys are still willing to stick with me through all the time gaps. With how fast social media is moving nowadays, it's just super tricky to keep up with if you're a small channel, and I think you guys recognize that. I had a lot of fun working on this tree and finally finishing it up. Previously, I would have taken this into like 4 different time lapses spread across like 20 minutes, but I just wanted to get this done. And you know, reporting from the future, as Future Thork does, I think these time lapses were a good call because there's so much that I needed to do in this episode. It would have been like 3 or 4 different episodes if I would have split it up individually. I love how this turned out. I mean, just look at this. Come on. It is better than I anticipated. Also, I can't really tell, but if you guys are hearing a hum in the background of this video in the narration parts, that's because I have an AC in my window that is very necessary because it's like feels like 100 type scenario where I'm at. So it's the only way that I'm going to be able to record a video at the moment, but I'm not going to let that stop me or delay the video any further. Anyways, I'm feeling good about this. Let's dive back into the video. Ooh, alright, I think that's the main canopy done. That feels wild to say. I am just like beyond words that we were actually able to complete this and that it looks really good. We're probably gonna have to deal with some undesirable creatures. Other than that, I am really happy with how this is turning out. We still have a little bit of work to do up here. I have a surprise that I do want to try. Don't know if it's gonna look good, but I do want to try it. I think we need to hop downstairs and see how this looks from the ground floor. Oh? What was that? Oh, hello. You're not supposed to be here. Oh, it's very dark. Alright. Oh my god. We do need to do a little bit more over here, or cut this back a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more over here, extending. This is just... this is just wild. Gotta light this area up even better, though. This area is a little choppy. We do need to adjust it a little bit, but that should not be too bad. I know I'll forget it, so I'm just gonna go do that real quick in another time lapse. Be right back. Well, I guess I won't really be right back because Future Thork will take over. Time lapse time. Fun fact, when I initially started this project, I had 0 intentions of it turning into a mega build or a mega project at all. My goal was to build a small to medium custom tree because I've never done that before and I wanted to try something new for the YouTube series. But as it turns out, my first custom tree build is a mega tree. Whoops. I safely consider this a mega tree now. I was a little bit iffy on it before because I'm like, well, other people have probably built things bigger, but it's a subjective thing. For my standards, look at everything else around it. This is the most mega thing in the world, so I am very happy with how this turned out. Second time's the charm, maybe? We gotta go check it out though. And after we come back down and assess what we've done, we have to go back up and do the finishing details. Yeah, look at that. This still is a little bit awkward, but there's no way that I'm removing all of that, so rounding it out like this is definitely the best option. And let's see how we did here. It's still a bit choppy. I forgot this section entirely. I was so focused over here. You know, I don't know if it's that necessary. Am I only saying this because I don't want to go get more leaves? Absolutely. I mean, it's not the worst, and I think for sake of efficiency, we can leave this how it is. I don't know if I'll change my mind on that later, but for now, that's what I'm thinking. Like, for now, I really want to get in some of the details and remove all of this dirt. And I will not make you guys sit through that in a time lapse or in person. So just 3, 2, 1, different place. Alright, that did take a little longer than I expected, but we got it done. Every single layer is taken care of, including the inside. Also, in the dirt removal process, I also extended some of these branches a little bit. So instead of just going straight up and then leaves going just almost 90 degrees out, we have like kind of a gradual slope. It's very hard to see. I think it makes a lot more sense. Now I think it's time that we head upstairs, or I'm calling this like upstairs and downstairs in my head, but I know it's not technically that. Anyways, I think we need to head all the way up top right now and work on the details. Also, we do have to finish that hidden house over there, but that won't take too long. Just a couple details. It's gonna be like a little intermission type thing. Let's hop down into our cozy little canopy area. I mean, this is really looking nice and cozy. I love it. Alright, let's start what I think is going to be my favorite part of this entire thing, the details. I have a few ideas. I don't know if they will work or if I'll be able to pull them off well, but I think they should still be fine. Right now, what we're working with is this comfy, cozy little courtyard area. Basically, it's not a courtyard, but it serves the function of a courtyard. We can go off on all these different branches if we wanted to, but we have this nice little cozy center. And I'm going to keep it that way, but create a little bit of a canopy over this. This right now is the tree level, like the branch, so we could cover this if we wanted to, and create little exits and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be really fun. And then finally, I will get to share what my plan is with this and this. You've probably seen those in a chest or two for a couple episodes now. I'm finally gonna put them to use in a really cool thing that I hope will turn out really cool. For now though, we have to prepare the center area, and for that we need to start building up. It's gonna take a little bit of construction. We're not gonna go precise as usual. This is kind of turning out alright. Alright, that's one archway basically there. And no, these are not going to be walkable archways. We're going to have like little, almost cutouts like this. You can cut these back. And don't worry, if this is looking kind of janky right now, it will turn into hopefully non-jank. But like art, everything has to start kind of bad and then work its way up to being not so bad. Don't want to thin this out too much. Alright, this is kind of starting to turn out like how I'm thinking. Now I have two options of how I want to do this next part, and I have no idea, so we're gonna just start building. Let's spread this a little bit, just so they have a base to work with. I'm so excited for this. And now comes a very interesting part. We start building up with concrete. Okay, that's looking interesting so far. I think I did underestimate the amount that I will need. I can make a little bit more, but not much. This is 48 high, and it's not going to be this high, but it's definitely going to come up to a decent space, because it needs to for the functionality that I want it to serve. We're definitely going to make it smaller as we move upwards, and we're going to curve it a little bit too. Okay, now's about the time where we need to start really thinning this out. Alright, I think this height is about correct. Oh my god, that's actually looking really good. I'm proud of myself for that. I never do organics, but like this for like a stem of something, that's not bad. That's not bad at all, with one green to spare. Alright, I think I've been building this for a good while. Now I think it's time for a time lapse of the rest of it, maybe? Yeah, I think so. I think you guys are gonna love this. Do the time lapse, Future Thork. You know, it's kind of wild to say this, but I think this is the first flower that I've ever built in Minecraft. That's right, this is a custom flower that I'm building on top of a custom tree, both of which I have never attempted before. This series has so many firsts, it's unreal, but I genuinely love how this turned out. I hope you love this as much as I do. Oh my god. This turned out absolutely incredible. I am very, very proud of this centerpiece. And we're still not done. We still have a couple things to do over here. We still got these to finish. That's going to be another secret until, a couple minutes from now. But yeah, I really wanted to make a nice centerpiece for this entire area, for this nice spawn tree. And it's not the biggest, but it does stand out. In addition to having a centerpiece for this build, there is another reason why I wanted a big flower up here, made of like non-wool material, and that is because of this. Now we will not have to worry about this tree catching on fire, I don't think. There's nothing flammable up here to spread down there. This, I'm guessing, covers this entire circumference so that any lightning that may strike this tree will strike this flower instead. It's kind of like a protector. And honestly, with these kind of like 4 main petals, it's kind of looking like a 4-leaf clover. Our lucky flower on top of the tree. I don't necessarily know the radius on lightning rods, but hopefully this is a flawless plan. If it's not a flawless plan, well, we're switching series soon, so it's not gonna matter. Anyways, I am mainly joking, but kind of not. Whatever's gonna happen with this, if it does work or if it doesn't, we're not really gonna have to deal with it, to be honest. It really does look very pretty though. Oh, that's a really cool screenshot. I love it. Let's continue. Okay, next up on the agenda is something that's also gonna be really pretty. And it's gonna be something that brings a ton of life to this area. 3 items. 1, 2, 3. We are going to be planting a couple trees on the tree. My idea with this is that we're going to actually be able to add a couple areas of higher elevation, get a little bit more depth and dynamicness to this tree. The main ones will go here. We're just going to create like a little platform here to put some of the moss on, azalea, and bone meal. Yes. Absolutely yes. Now you may be wondering, this wood is kind of out of place, right? Yes, it is. We are going to replace that, no problem. And now it's gonna look like this is just like one big tree, kind of putting out a flower of sorts, or at least that's the goal. I actually don't know if we want to keep all of this moss the way it is. Probably not. We're probably just going to want to make this its own thing. Let's just go around and do this to every single pillar. I was thinking about doing this for a while, and I think I'm onto something. Some of the top pieces of logs will definitely not be changed, but I don't think that matters that much. Gotta light this area up while we do this too. Yes, I'm loving this. We could have done like extra custom trees, but let's be honest, I don't have time for that. Instead, I just like to get something that looks pretty and just works, and this is definitely that. Alright, let's go one more. Oh, this is looking so good. Are you kidding me? This is looking fantastic. I kind of want to do this all around now. I mean, we have enough. Let's do it. We can also plant around a couple pieces of moss. That will definitely add some depth and diversity here. We'll try to make it a little bit symmetrical, even though we haven't really been paying that much attention to it. It being symmetry. It is still a nice thing to have on occasion, I will admit. Oh, yo, look at how cool this is. Man, this is truly, truly special. Always super important when you're building is to add in a lot of blocks that you don't usually think work together, but they probably do. Just try them. Yeah, this is nice. And now comes a really fun part. A lot of the finishing details. Let's just move on to texturing with this a little bit. I wanted to save this for last, or practically last, because this is going to inform a lot of where the highlights are, if that makes sense. It's also going to add a lot of brightness and a lot of life to these kind of more swampy sections. I don't want it to look too neon, so I'm going to just use it very sparingly. Alright, that's looking nice. And now we get to go in with these and kind of create kind of an azalea blossom, azalea leaf, kind of like those, but just on a bigger scale. And now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm actually like looking at the texture. It's kind of more like a magenta and pink. Yeah. So let's just go in like this and spread this every now and then, kind of creating a pretty flowery texture to the leaves. I don't think we want to overdo it with this. We just want to make sure that there's a little bit of texture everywhere. Wait, did I call these cherry blossoms earlier? I'm in the 1.20 mindset already. The azalea blossoms or flowers. I'm very ready for 1.20, as you can clearly hear. One thing I'm also trying to do here is kind of create a diagonal whenever I place these. So one high, one low, but to the side. Usually the lighter color up top, the darker color below. All right, look at this. Oh, it's looking so good. We are quite literally creating sprinkles out of a tree, or giving a tree sprinkles. It's a good way to look at it, because who doesn't love sprinkles? I mean, unless you're allergic, then I am so sorry. Purple, try to space these out as best as possible. I feel like this is actually going to be kind of a polarizing design. Either you will love this or you will hate this. And there will be like no in between. Like there's gonna be nobody in the comments saying like, oh yeah, it's alright. It's either this is fantastic because it's so colorful, it's bold, it's cartoony, or it's gonna be it's bold, it's colorful, and it's cartoony. Why? I mean, I personally am all for the bold, colorful, and cartoony stuff. Ooh, look at how atmospheric this looks. It's so cozy. This would be a great place to chill out in the rain. I love it. I love it so much. We should probably clean this area up and move our chest monster inside, because, I mean, I really want to keep this area pristine. It's so good. I am going to go do that real quick, and I will meet you inside. Alright, we're all shifted around, but we do have a visitor. Where are you? Hello? Are we good? That was scary. And actually, now that I think about it, these popped up one episode as if there was another branch that was gonna happen here. I think we can just remove them, honestly. I don't think we need to have this hazard right here on our base. I think we can just remove them and feel good about that. You can barely see them anyways, so I think it's fine. Alright, slept in that cozy little area. Honestly, I'm very tempted to call this tree done. Like the tree itself, like the tree, not like the pathway beneath the tree, but like the tree, the canopy and the leaves. That's basically done. Just, oh my god. Like, look at this. This is just stunning. Flying around with this, like with the replay mod, I am beyond impressed. I haven't even seen it yet. I'm recording this little voiceover in-game, by the way. I'll talk about this more in the episode wrap-up, I suppose, but this is like the biggest project I've ever attempted, and then the fact that I'm actually finishing it right now, it is just incredible to me. Anyways, enough with that. We have a ton more stuff to do in this episode, and I cannot get distracted. At least not yet. Alright, next up is this doorway, and then finishing off the path under this whole tree, and connecting some of the roots to the ground a little bit better. I don't know, I feel like that would be a good idea. I am sure I will need to go back up there and get more wood. However, I think the most effective use of our time is clearing out this bottom section, and yeah, this is going to be another kind of intimidating thing. However, it's going to be much more freeform and much looser than this was, and it's pretty freeform, so I think we should be totally fine. This also seems like it's another opportunity for a time lapse. Oh, take it away, Future Thork. Believe it or not, this tiny little pond in Minecraft has a little bit of a nostalgia factor for me, and I'm willing to bet at least a couple of you if you've been around here a long time, because this is the first feature that I ever saw in this world, aside from the top of a tree, if you want to count that as a feature. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, yep, that's the one. This is what I'm going to spend the majority of my time around, and I followed through with that. And so I wanted to keep it as intact as possible, as day one as possible, but just upgrade it, you know, kind of pay a little bit of a tribute to where we started. A little homage, if you will. And so I hope you guys love what I'm going to do with this little area. I could have easily covered it up, but I think this is way better. Okay. Oh, hello. Anyways, this pathway is mostly cleared out, and I think you can kind of see the vibe I'm trying to go for here. We're going to be going for an open front side. I mean, I guess you could call this the front, although nothing is technically the front of this. It's kind of just a tree. This is the side that is facing our starter base, so I guess I'm going to call this the front of it. And so I want this to be open and accessible, and go down to a pathway here. We're going to have a couple different entrances on the back, and that's what we're going to work on next before we get the pathway in. And before we do all of that, we also need to sleep, because I have a couple cool ideas for this side that I want to try. Now, we do have a ton of materials that I have meant for the pathway down here already, so we don't have to go back up and down and up and down. We just gotta focus on building, which is always the best part. All right, let's start on this side, and I have a really cool idea for what I want this to turn into. You see, this tree right here is a special one. It is a little misshapen, and it's a little kind of in the way, but I couldn't bring myself to remove it because it is the thumbnail tree for the first episode. It isn't spawn tree. I think that's like that tree or that tree, but this is the tree where we took the thumbnail. And I mean, I can't really take the thumbnail of anything from up here now, but this is where it happened. We stood on this, and then that's that. I didn't have the replay mod at that time or anything, so we got creative. And I really want this to stay as kind of like a little monument or a little homage to where we kind of started. As soon as this base trunk was put in, I had a really cool idea that I think it's time to complete. As you can see, I kind of used whatever blocks that I had on me at the time to make it look pretty. Just a simple door, a crafting table, and a trapdoor. Nothing special, but the trapdoor did give me an idea. This is getting pretty steep, and unless I want to put ladders everywhere, we're gonna need a way down. And I think this would be a great way to get down. It would be kind of like a little secret clubhouse entrance, if you will. Let's do it. And it's just gonna be really simple, but I want to document it because it's gonna be really simple, but it's gonna be super cool as well. I don't know how low we need to go, but I know we need to go over in this direction some. Ooh, did I get it perfect? Wow, I actually got it spot on. I didn't measure that at all, I swear. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, we can definitely decorate this for sure. We're not gonna make anything too fancy here. We're just gonna like put a little overhang on it, pave this area with like wood or something, make it look nice, and then just put an extended ladder right here, and we should be good to go. This is gonna turn out so good. Now, that brings me to my other idea, which I always had a plan for, I just never did. You know, this is gonna be wide open, another entrance, but I think another cool thing that we could do that would be a little bit more secluded is kind of bust this down, bust this apart, and make a little overgrown pathway area. Just kind of like broken steps and whatnot. Super chill. Yeah, I just love it. Now, let me know if I'm alone in this, because this has always been a thing that I have loved whenever I saw it. It's just small little overgrown areas where, you know, you can tell there was once a lot of love being put into it, but it's just kind of been like, you know, not totally forgotten. People still use it occasionally, but it's like the idea of like this pathway you would find, and it's just like it just feels nice. It just feels nice. I don't know how to describe it, but areas like this always have that vibe for me. It always feels like very fairy tale. I don't know. I may be sounding crazy right now, and I may not even put this in the video, but that's the vibes I get from things like that. So we have our couple entrances here. We can enter from there. We can enter from here. And, you know, if we cross over from that area, we could probably hop down there too. I think it is about time to get started on the pathway itself. And so this calls for yet again another time lapse. This little project under the tree is a great example as to why you should never ignore the small little details. And, well, I guess this isn't a small little detail, but in terms of the scale of what's above it, it is definitely very small. It speaks to the larger trend of ignoring the small details that almost go unnoticed, but when you really dive into it, those small little details that almost nobody else would think about too much, but you do, is the thing that makes a build really cool. Like, if you were to step back at this project and look at it from a bird's eye view with a totally fresh lens, like you don't know what the Sears is at all, and you were to see all of this, including the surrounding area, you'd be like, oh yeah, a tree with a pathway under it, cool. But for me, this pathway is a lot of intention, it's a lot of effort, and it is also something that I could have gone without. You know, I could have just done a tree and called it there and made this video 10 times shorter. Well, not 10 times shorter, but you know what I'm saying. It's those little details that I really love to see in a Minecraft world, especially on a Let's Play. Alright, this is actually kind of looking crazy. This is turning out way better than I expected, to be honest. I thought I was just going to do like a small little pathway, but this is definitely larger. Now, there are a couple different things that I need to think about how I want to handle about this tree before we move on to the next step here, because I don't want to mess them up. It would be a lot of work if I messed it up. We have the pathway sorted out, but we don't have this sorted out, right? Right now, there's just a hole at the bottom of our tree, and I don't know about you, but that's not very tree-like. So instead, I think we should figure out a way to close this thing up. Alright, the idea that I had for this area involved these roots. Now, I have no idea how I'm going to make it look good and like it belongs here, but we definitely have the wood for it, I think. Ooh, well, I may have to go get a refill. What I have in mind is making these cylindrical in nature and connecting them to the ground and form 4 tiny little tunnels for us to walk through, and it would be super aesthetically pleasing. And of course that would then fill this up, because then it would arch all the way over and cover it up like a ceiling, which will take a lot of work, but I have a feeling it's going to be another time-lapse thing, because I honestly cannot be bothered to cut like hours of footage just of me doing this. But I hope you guys are going to love it just as much as I think that I'm going to love it. Alright, yeah, let's go take care of that real quick. I mean, it's not going to be real quick for me, but it's going to be real quick for you. And then we'll get started on the wall decoration, because these are not going to remain dirt. I'm thinking some mix of stone, wood, cobble, stuff like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we get to it. Alright, let's get to it. Get ready for the longest section of time-lapse in this video, and also probably the longest section of time-lapse that I've ever put into a video on this channel. There is just so much here, mainly because this is a collection of time-lapses instead of just one. Multiple time-lapses collected over the course of a couple days, actually. This project took that long. Mainly because, I mean, I just didn't record for hours and hours on end. It was kind of like, okay, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes here, an hour here, you know, that kind of stuff. And because of that, I totally forgot to like cut in and cut out when something interesting happened, because there is a ton of interesting things that happened throughout this entire thing. I was gonna split it up by branch, by section, by feature, but we're just gonna kind of have to mash it all up and, you know, have this be the thing that it is, which is awesome, by the way. I'm really proud of how this turned out, but it isn't exactly how I intended the process to go. But that doesn't really matter, I guess. This is just insane looking back at as I'm recording this voiceover, because I'm realizing how much effort went into every single block here, and it's just I'm speechless. I don't know if you can tell, but I quite honestly don't know what to say, so I'll save the majority of my thoughts and ideas on how this whole thing went for like a series recap or like a world tour type video, because I think that would be more appropriate. And for now, I guess I'll just talk about the process of this video, because something became very clear to me as I started editing this video. Oftentimes when I record, and I've mentioned this in the past, but oftentimes when I record, I break it into manageable chunks. Things that I know that I'll be able to do without getting overwhelmed. I don't want to record for like 3 hours in one single take, not only because it could ruin the entire take if something gets corrupted or I miss an audio setting and just record an entire episode with like no audio, but besides that, it does make it more manageable for me to break it down into small chunks, but this was a bit too much, I think, for me. I don't know if anybody's going to care about my ramblings here, but if you're a Minecraft content creator, I think you're going to know what I'm talking about. There's a balance that you need to strike between creating something manageable for yourself and also concise and understandable for yourself. At least for me, this whole time-lapse process was a lesson in not spreading it out too far and spreading yourself too thin, because otherwise you just don't know what's going on in your own editing process. Like, I don't know what this clip is, I don't know what that clip is, and then it takes twice as long, 3 times as long, especially with time lapses and rendering that out. So that's all I'm saying. If future Thork wants to take a lesson on this, record and edit right away. Don't leave it for another day, don't leave it for 2 a.m. one night, don't leave it for yourself to get overwhelmed with in the future, because it's just going to make it more difficult. I think for our 1.20 series, that's what I'm going to try. Much smaller episodes, much more manageable episodes, but still have the impactfulness of these kind of episodes. I definitely want to try out a ton of new things in 1.20, and editing is included in that. I have no idea as for the projects of 1.20, because I don't know what the world looks like. I'm very situational when it comes to the builds that I make. I often don't start a world with the intention of building a certain thing. I kind of just see how it goes. That's what I did with this one, and that's probably what I'll do with the next one too. I mean, just being real and genuine, that's how I think the best content gets made, at least in my case. If I went into this whole series when I first started this channel with the expectation of creating a series, the expectation of creating a massive spawn tree, and an expectation of building an audience, and an expectation of blah 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 blah, you know what I'm saying? Then half of this wouldn't have happened. In fact, I don't think any of it would have happened, because it wouldn't have been real. And as someone who is named Your Human Thork, I think it's really important that that human factor doesn't get lost, and I think that's the thing that I want to highlight, is that I could have not included half of the stuff that I've included, right? I could have totally skipped over the me talking about my editing process and how difficult that was, and the intimidation factor going on in my own brain of finishing the last episode of a series that I've been working on for over a year, and all that kind of stuff, right? I could have skipped all of that, but I didn't, because I think it's important. I think it's just super crucial to be human, be real, be honest with yourself. Like, we get caught up in comparing ourselves to others so much, especially in the YouTube space, that those little things that make you human are the things that really matter at the end of the day. At least that's what you guys have shown me. So just, this is getting kind of emotional now. I didn't intend for that to be the case. I wanted to save that for the end. Anyways, thank you so much for allowing me to be human and being human with me. But we still have a video to finish, so let's get back to it. Alright, well, here we are. I cannot get over how well this has turned out. I would say is turning out, but I think this is basically where we're gonna leave it. Like, in my brain, I'm still picturing like leaves and vines covering the base of these roots and all of that kind of fancy stuff. I could keep going and going and going and perfecting this to a T. However, I think it's wise to just call it here and be happy with this, because otherwise we are never going to be done with the series. It's just going to keep going on and on and on and on, and we're never going to get to 1.20, which I desperately want to do. I feel like in the land of YouTube, I am quite behind on 1.20. However, I really needed to get this done, and done well, because this is the first series on my channel. I don't want it to be like incomplete. We finished that, we finished the inside, we finished the bottom here, we finished the pathway. The only thing that's left is the doorway, because right now it is kind of just an amalgamation of just a couple support beams and some wood. It's not really much of anything, and we have this structure that we could work with, but probably will not be. Ooh, Oh, hang on. Wait. I am getting distracted again. I'm starting new things that I really shouldn't be. But would it not be really, really, really cool to cover this entire thing with dirt and then plant a tree in the middle? Because otherwise, this would be like an enclosed tunnel leading up and this middle thing wouldn't be open. But if I can make excuses and say that, no, it's totally meant to be open because there's a tree in the middle, then, you know, our problem is solved. Or at least mostly. We can make it all natural, we can, you know, add some moss in there. I do not know how much I want to lean into this whole tree inside of a tree idea. But it's a cool thing that I'm thinking will be cool right this second, so I have to do it. You know I have to do it. This was not planned, by the way. I just think I should point that out. Moss. Oh yeah. Let's fill this entire thing up with moss. This also very well could be a time lapse, but I will not make it be a time lapse. Right now it's kind of looking overgrown, which is not what I was going for. However, we can change that really easily. And now let's choose kind of a center area. Ooh, this might be an issue. In fact, it is an issue. That is great. Look at this place. This is so good. It actually does feel like this place is alive and growing. Very, very, very pretty. Throw in some amethyst because, of course, a little bit here and there. This is so peaceful. This is so charming. This is so just lovely. I really love how close that tree grew. It really adds a lot. Also, it serves as a way up here because we need to finish this. And I think, well, I think it's not going to be that complicated. We're just going to do something like this. And I think that should probably be good enough. Just light this up. And then we can tackle this outside area, which I think it would actually be kind of cool. Ooh, wait. Oh, I have so many ideas. Oh my god, wait. Hang on. My two ideas for the entrance to this place is either we make it an amethyst slice, if you call them slices. You know, like the opening to an amethyst, kind of that half circle or quarter circle, and just kind of decorate it with a couple pieces of amethyst since we have so much amethyst. Or we could decorate this in a different wood tone and kind of create like a little fold, like a hem on a piece of clothing. I think the different colored wood would kind of stand out too much since there's literally nothing else that's different about this tree. It would be very stand-outy, if that's a word. Whereas if we do the amethyst, it would not only fit into the lore of this tree, I guess you could call it, and it would fit the surrounding area because we put a ton of calcite and tuff in the pathway blocks. So I think that's going to be the plan actually, which is another thing that is different than I initially intended, but I think it could be really, really, really cool. Anyways, we'll tackle that in the morning. Morning. I cannot believe what we've accomplished in this world. From random videos to creating huge projects and trees, like this was not on the agenda. But I am so grateful that it has been on the agenda, or that it is now on the agenda. Let's get a little bit more tuff, and basalt, we'll definitely need that. And before you come at me in the comments, basalt or basalt, I say both, at the same time. Fight me. Actually, don't fight me, please. Anyways, let's work on this. I think this is going to be kind of simple. We can actually follow the curves of the tree pretty well. I think I unintentionally planned that out really well. Just like terraforming, we can follow the natural curves of this and be totally fine. Then tuff. And you know, even if it's not exact to like the amethyst cluster in game, I think it'll be fine. I think that looks nice, and then we can add in some amethyst on the inside. Wait, actually, yeah, this creates a little bit like of a natural kind of cavern, like this little open space here. We can spread this down. Oh, that looks so good. How does that look? I think it needs a little bit of balancing. This piece is sticking out a little bit too much. Oh yeah, absolutely. That is the move 200%. Crazy. Little slice of amethyst for an entrance. And you know, that has given me an idea, but I literally cannot do it. It would take way too long, and I am trying to wrap this series up. However, I do have to share this amethyst shape all the way up the tree trunk. Would that not look incredible? Amethyst poking out here and here and here, kind of growing up the roots with like a spiral amethyst design. That would be crazy. That would be insane. I think I am perfectly happy with this though. It is way better than I initially thought it would turn out, and it's just nice, you know? Speaking of cool and nice things, we have this entire area to finish. I say entire area, it's really small. However, it is a thing that we have to get done. I'm not leaving this unfinished. I think the plan is going to be something along the lines of finish this Oasis area with a little bit of extra dirt, and then finish the tree that's on top of this roof because we forgot bone meal, or we didn't forget bone meal in the last episode, we ran out of bone meal. Pretty. Gotta love a good rainbow. Anyways, I'm gonna start replacing all of this sand, or a lot of this sand, with some dirt so we can grow some moss. We may put in a pathway here. That'll be fine. We can replace this with some grass to give you a nice little comfy area. That horse without a name. Yeah, I don't know what to call you. And I don't have another name tag anyway, so it's not like I could. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be much to the inside of this place. It looks really cool with like the dark oak and the mangrove. I will inform you when something interesting happens. Let's get to it. Since I'm here, the very first interesting thing that I want to do is this tree. Yeah, I have not seen it from the outside yet, but I know for a fact it looks really good. Yeah, that is actually really cool. I should do this more often with my builds. The theory with this so far is just outline it and then I can fill it in later. I think this would look a lot better if it was just fully dirt. I am not an oasisologist. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to building oases. Oasisi. Awasi. I need to stop talking. Let's start to spread this around. Make it look all pretty. Look at that. Well, we can cheat a little bit since we don't have all that much dirt at the moment. I know it's a super easy thing to go get. However, I don't feel like going out and getting a ton of dirt. We can sprinkle this around, create a little bit of a pathway. Fine, I'll get a little bit more dirt just so that I can surround the trees with it. Yeah, let's create kind of like a web out from the center. I think that would look really good. Let's also throw in a couple darker pathway blocks, like so. Yeah, I like that. You know, in a way, it's kind of interesting that we don't have full grass coverage or moss coverage, because this way, at least in my mind, it kind of feels like the sand is trying to overtake the grass, but it's not quite able to do it. Like it's drifting in and it's trying to like make it a desert again, but not quite able to. I don't know. I'm reading into my own design too much, but what's the fun in not over analyzing everything you do in designing Minecraft things? Let's add a couple staircases too. Why? Because I don't know why, but I wanna. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Can add a little bit of details to the roots. I don't know about you, but I think this made a world of difference. It actually kind of looks like an oasis now. I do just need to take care of this area. Well, let's try something. Ooh, okay. And do one more. Oh my god. I don't know how practical this is for a horse, but for human enjoyment, 200%. I think that improved it immensely. Because why not? Just as I was about to record the final thing. Well, while I wait for this rain in the desert to pass, well, it's not a desert technically, it is a beach, but let's move this stuff in the house so that it is actually a functional house. Isn't that right? That is a beautiful place to sleep. It's even protected from the rain because we got this over it. I don't know what these are, but they do look nice. You know I have to. I think this literally leads to just nowhere. But isn't that cool? Man, I can't help but think that this is like perfectly timed. That was nice. It kind of does feel full circle, you know, at least for this one part of the series. Oh, we never bothered to go get a cat. Oh man, there's no way that I go get a fishing rod, make a fishing rod, then come back here and then get that cat, right? Wrong. I now have fish. I also realized this was the first time I ever fished in the series, so it gave me that achievement. But I mean, I got some cool stuff, watermelon not included. The loot table for fishing is just wild. Anyways, I could not find the cat again. It probably despawned. I had to try. I mean, imagine if we could get a cat for the ending of the series. That would be amazing. Sadly though, I think we're gonna have to skip that and focus on the other things that need to be done. This area looks fantastic. I'll give you a little run through of it. I don't know if I did that already, but I'll do it again if I have to. I'm really pleased with how this Oasis area turned out. It's really pretty. It's really cute. Pathway is so cool. Got the little flowers in the floor, or in the ground rather. Got some amethyst next to it too. I love that combo. We got a nice little kind of canopy area. I don't know what you would call it. All that I know is that it is fantastic. We got some decorations in here. We got some plants. We got some planters. We got a nice cozy little open area for sleeping, and this tree above us even blocks the rain, so we are totally chillin'. I'm just gonna store a bunch of this stuff here because I do not need it. I will grab my tools and my torches. This area is complete, and I probably won't see it again this series or for a long time, because I mean, we are totally done here. It was a pleasure working on this area, but let's move on. And now, finally, the last thing that I want to do in this episode and in this series, I think, is this little pathway here. It kind of brings it all home. It connects the tree to our main area in a nice fashion. It really kind of finishes up the center point. And yeah, I think this is it. So let's get to it. I do not think that I want to make a time lapse out of this. I just want to enjoy this last little project of probably 1.19, honestly. I mean, unless I come back for like mods and stuff like that. A long time ago, at this point, I wanted to create a kind of almost lighthouse-esque thing here, kind of like a wizard tower, but obviously it never got done. So I think this is our next best bet. I have a couple ideas. We can kind of make it rough around the edges. Nothing too precise. We can keep the spirit of this area going. And smooth these areas out. Well, I am super happy with how this pathway turned out. It's just a super quick thing, you know, but like, it's so good. One more thing I do want to try, since this is supposed to be somewhat magical. This is insane. I have ideas. I don't know if they're good ideas, but they're ideas. Is that good? I think that's good. Well, I think this turned out insanely well. Well, I think this turned out insanely well. But anyways, like, look at this. Look at this. Are you kidding me? It looks insanely beautiful. We did all of this. Well, I think that's the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I really do appreciate you. And for the first time, thank you so much for watching this series. I cannot believe where this series has gone. All of it is just so crazy to me. I will save a lot of the sentimental stuff for a world tour / wrap up thing, but I should do a little bit here. I mean, come on. When I started this channel, I had very little expectations. You guys have blown that out of the water though, and have given me so much to think about. I had no expectations for this channel. It was just going to be a cool thing that I could do every now and then whenever I felt stressed, to escape or just chill for a little bit solo. It very much still is that, with a lot more people and a lot more goals. So truly, with everything that I have, thank you so much. You guys have shown me that this channel can be more than just a cool little thing to do on my own and to relax with. There's more than just me now who's chilling and vibing alone. The stories that you guys have shared with me and how much the series has meant to you is honestly kind of mind-blowing. Whether it's to chill to put on as background music, it's that kind of stuff that makes this YouTube thing really cool. I would still be doing this regardless, but like, thank you so much for being genuine and being real. I think that is really cool. And this is just the beginning. Once this series is officially wrapped up, we're gonna be going on to 1.20. We're gonna start a whole new adventure, build crazy new things, explore randomly again, and just do general Thork stuff. This, in a way, was an unintentional test run, I guess you could say. I have so much more confidence now than I did when I started this channel, in both me talking to the camera, or technically a camera, and the builds and my Minecraft knowledge and abilities. So expect bigger and better, I think. Don't quote me on it. I have not experienced 1.20 yet, but just looking at everything, it's so inspiring. There are so many different project ideas that I have, so if you are up for that, please stick around. So to wrap it up, I just want to say again a quick thank you to every single person who has been here, whether you are just finding this video now or have been here since episode 1. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so excited to do a series wrap up and a world tour. I've never been able to do that before. That's so cool. And for the last time, I think in 1.19, thank you guys so much for being here. Keep being you, keep being awesome, and we will see you guys in the next video. Much love, everyone. This is truly special. I am without words. Honestly, kind of a little emotional. Not gonna lie. But happy. Very happy.